Veteran care. Here we have our table of contents. Serving no matter the cost. When a man or woman joins the service, they leave behind many things, including their friends and family. They also are giving up their daily routines. That it means brushing their teeth, showering, clean clothes on their back every day, even sleeping. They also risk injury, illness, and death every day, as many of us know. Returning to a normal life is never easy for a veteran. Some do get lucky and can return with no real injuries, but others unfortunately come back with physical and mental scars. And as it states, it says their battle continues, in which most of the time their battle does continue. They can come back with PTSD, with post-traumatic stress disorder, and a traumatic brain injury, which most of us are aware of what both of those are. Post-traumatic stress disorder is anything with, you go through a huge event in your life and it just screws you up, which people in our military, they go through. They see towns get destroyed. They see their friends die. That really rises the PTSD chances. And then traumatic brain injury is something that can occur with IEDs or any kind of explosive where, it is what it says, injury to the brain. Many veterans also come back with limb losses, hands, legs, fingers, anything, eyes, anything that you could lose, they come back with, and they have to readjust to a normal life without an arm, without a leg, without 10 fingers and 10 little toes. Most things that we take for granted for every day, try take one of those away. Try taking your hand away and brushing your teeth or writing your name. It's struggles they go through. Many veterans do turn to alcohol and drugs to deal with what they have seen and been through overseas at war. And a lot of the drugs and alcohol turns into homelessness. It causes issues at their house, maybe with their wife or their parents, and they get put out on the streets. 20 veterans a day commit suicide. Take a look around you. There's, 20 people. Imagine them all dead in one day. It can happen. But then again, truth be told, we have our own problems to deal with here. We have money and we have bills to pay. We don't have spare money to be tossed around to donate to these veteran homes or, to all these veterans commercials that we see where they guarantee that they get a meal or fresh clothes or anything like that. But that's why we created credit cards. It's one of the reasons we have credit cards. Why not just charge that right to your credit card? What's $9.99 to a credit card? You pay the bill at the end of the month anyway. People use credit cards to fill up their gas tanks, to go on shopping sprees. So why not use a little bit of that credit card you have to donate to veterans or to VAs to help veterans in need? Another thing is time. All of us pretty much say 25/8. Instead of 24/7, it's 25/8. There's never enough time in the day. We have our own personal lives. We have our own families to take care of. We don't need to be trying to take care of somebody else's family on top of our own. But we have weekends off. We don't work during the week. Make a family volunteer trip to a VA. Go donate to a soup kitchen to help the homeless veterans. Do a family event just to help veterans in any way you can. They don't need our pity or help. Truth be told, know what they're getting into. Yeah, that's true. Most people who join the military know what they're getting into. They know the risks. We all know what happens at war. We see the movies that are out that are rated R because they're gory war movies. We know what goes on. That's their own fault. Most of them have education and mental and physical health when they come back. A lot of them do come back with no issues at all because of the war. Um, them knowing what they're getting into, yeah, that's true, but you know what? That makes them brave and heroic. They're willing to risk everything they have for death, essentially. You know, for people they don't know. They could pass a stranger on the street and they're going to go fight to war for that stranger, to fight for their freedom and to fight for everything that they have. Not all veterans are that lucky to come home with no mental and health issues. VAs are overpacked in this world. 59% of VAs, current populations, actually do not have service committed disabilities. VAs are way overpacked. They do have a system and rankings that you need to get into to give a percentage of your disability, but you know, people do abuse it. They abuse it sometimes to get the medication that the VAs hand out, and that also leads to drug and substance abuse. But most importantly, we need to thank our veterans, our returning veterans, past veterans, future veterans, and present veterans. It could be your mother, your father, any family member. If they went off to war and they came home, wouldn't you want to make sure that they get the utmost care once they came home? Pretty sure all of us can agree to that. Final thoughts, just thank you to the servicemen and women that fight for this country and fight for everything that we have.